Beautiful young man, beautiful black man, if you could only see how valuable you are and how beautiful you are inside, how innately perfect God had to make the African American man. That's what this video is about today, is to encourage our young men. Most of them don't have active fathers, and even encourage men to let you know that I see you, the world sees you, and that's why you're such a huge threat towards other people, because the world sees you and they know how powerful you are, only if you walked in that power. My name is Marion. I'm with Restoring Ghettos Forgotten, and my channel is meant to encourage, empower, and to provoke some type of positive thought changes so that we can ultimately change our lives. And I'll go on into the message. This morning is going to be a heartfelt message because I believe our young men don't hear it enough. That you are loved, that you are valued, that you are valuable beyond what the world says, because the world will try to throw you away, cast you away, make you feel worthless, because they know how powerful the black man can be if he only had the support and the belief system and the family structure that he needed, and if only he believed truly that he was powerful beyond all means. So I wish to say this morning, I want to remind especially our young black men, that you're somebody special, even if you haven't figured it out yet. So some 50-year-olds haven't figured it out yet. I know it's extremely hard for our teenage sons and our sons that are trying to find their way through this life, because the world try to make every young black man feel like if you're not a ball player, you know, if you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, that you're worthless, and that's a lie from the enemy. And I'm here to tell you it's a lie. I don't care where you come from. If you want something strong enough, if you have a desire in your heart that's good, and you want that thing, whatever that may be, you can accomplish it. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. The only person that limits you is you. And I'm here to remind you that you can have big dreams and big goals and come from a poor family or a not so good situation. It's done all the time. It's done by people that believe in themselves. So right now I'm going to have to ask you to get out your pity party, suck it up, take accountability, and press forward. Your life does not end with simply one mistake. You have to keep going. And I don't care how you feel at the moment. You have to push through this feeling. And to go further, I'm going to need you guys to seek your source. I'm going to need you to build a relationship with God and seek what his will is for your life. I'm going to need you to do that, because right now we're in a lot of dark times, and we all know that our youth is our future. So you guys are under attack more than anything. And the sad thing of all, we're attacking ourselves. We have to stop that, y'all. We have to come together and unify and be better people than what we're expected to be. We are really great people. We really have to know that. We really have to know that we're strong, we're powerful, we're creative, we're beautiful, inside and out. Many times we turn to the other side. It's because we believe what the enemy is telling us, that we're not valuable, that we're not beautiful, that we're worthless, that nobody loves us, nobody cares. I'm here to tell you that's a lie. God loves you. Your mom loves you. Your fathers, love you. And for all the young men that don't have their fathers, do not destroy your life based off what your father was not in your life. This life is about you. It's not about him. And I've said this before, a lot of times when there are absentee fathers, it's because they don't have what it takes to be a father. Many times than not, if they had been in your life probably would have been worse. So, and I know that's hard. I know that when our young men, when you don't have father figures or a positive role model of father figures, and you're getting everything from propaganda and the TV and the music and the movies, that you're just adopting this person. You like take on these different personalities that's really unnatural and they're really not you. I'm telling you, you don't have to do that. You don't have to say, well, I don't know how to be a man. I get that. You don't have a father figure to show you how to be a man. Seek the face of God and he'll give you those character traits. If you don't have, if it's really that bad to where there's not one male role model in your life, then you want to start reading books on how to be a man, on how to take on these powerful alpha roles. You can learn how to do those things. You don't have to necessarily have them exampled. And it's good when they're exampled in front of you because it makes it more natural. But if there's something you can't get right now because you've never seen it done, you can study that. That's why I always talk about reading. Reading is very fundamental, and our people shall perish due to lack of knowledge. Start studying and find out your history and your culture and which way you need to go, so that you can be the best man and the best version of yourself. This is going out to the young men, and if it helps men too, then I'm all for it. But this is going out to the young men. You guys, our young men have a lot of pressure on them, especially when it's almost time to graduate. They didn't make it big in any type of sports. Some of them are just in their books and they're just going through the motions of life, and they feel like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not a ball player. How I'm going to make money so I can provide for my family? How am I going to be important? How? And I know that it gets confusing and it gets scary and you don't know which way to turn. And I'm telling you now, turn to God. Seek the face of God. God can open doors in your life you wouldn't believe. There are people that hasn't even graduated from high school that are multimillionaires. There are people that their fathers and their mothers never graduated from high school. They have no college degrees, but they're still rich. You can't tell me what God cannot do. God can open a door that man don't even believe you deserve. And I always speak that to my own son because he struggles in it. He's trying to find his way. He's young, just like everybody, all of our other teenagers, even teenagers that has it all. They still struggle because they're trying to get this life figured out. And I'm here to tell you now, you can get it figured out, but you cannot give up. You have to know that you're somebody special. You have to know that your life has purpose and value. And I'm here to tell you that, to stay the course, but you gotta love yourself, man. You gotta learn how to love yourself. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard when the most important figure in your life was not there. I don't think most of the world realize how much our fathers is a part of our identity. And when they're not there, there's this missing link. There's something missing inside because you're trying to figure out, I just don't get this. I don't know how to be a man. And in any version of a man that I saw was so horrific or it was so bad. I don't know, am I supposed to be like him? How do I figure this thing out? And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to. You are not your father's mistakes. You're not your mother's mistakes. You have a whole clean slate. Walk in that. God gave you life, but he came so that we can have life more abundantly. That means you don't have to sit here and suffer. You don't have to be like, I don't have any value. My dad don't even love me. How can I love myself? I'm here to tell you now that you cannot wait on another human being that could not figure out life for what you need in life. You have to go out and get it for yourself. If you always wanted that love and that relationship and it was never there, you got to walk into the acceptance that it wasn't there. And now what do I do with my life? Because your life is still valuable. You have to grieve the loss of that relationship and really get to an understanding that they just did not have what it takes to give you what you needed. But then you lead by example at this point. So you know how desperately hurt that you were over your father not being there. You're not going to do that to your children. You're going to be a better father. You're going to be a better example. You're going to change your ways so that you can live upright and be a better example for the children and the seeds that you put into this world. That's what you can do. That's what you can do. And it's going to make up, you're still going to have that pain, the abandonment issues that come from fathers not being in the homes, or father not being active role model at all. There's still going to be issues of that, but you can work on that mentally, and you can work on that spiritually, so that you can become a whole, stable-minded man, and that you can make better choices, and you can do anything you want to do with your life. You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to make your own money, you want to be your own boss. You're going to have to get some type of trade. You're going to have to go to trade. You're going to have to find your niche. But what I will say is, if you seek the kingdom of God, God will release all those things. Everything else shall be added upon you, but you have to seek the kingdom of God. You have to seek your source. You have to give him all those pains and all those insecurities and all the fears that you have, because I know that our men experience fear. But they're not supposed to, right? No, they're human beings. They experience fear just like women, just like everybody else. But I'm here to tell you that it's okay. It's okay for you not to be okay. It's okay for you to stand up in your vulnerability and not be called out your name, to say, look, this hurt me. You hurt me. I needed you, and you weren't there for me. You need to reconcile that. It's okay for you to experience pain and fear and hurt, and release it and let it go, so that you can now walk into the positive life that God has already made for you. He already has a plan for your life. Your life has purpose and value, but you have to connect to him. You have to build a spiritual relationship with your source. And that's so incredibly important. It's so incredibly important. And I always say, most of the time, like especially when we're young, we don't know what it is we need. I remember when I was going through something, I didn't know why I was doing some of the things that I had been doing in my youth. And it was like I was repeating the cycle. And then I got on my knees one day and I say, God, reveal to me what's wrong with me. Why do I keep doing this? That's what you guys need to do. If you feel like you're stuck in this rut and you keep making the same decision and you keep hurting yourself over and over again, get on your knees and seek God humbly and with sincerity and in truth, and he will answer your prayers, and he will give you revelation of why you are the way that you are. Once you know why you are the way that you are, you can correct those things, because you can ask him to change the way that you think. It all starts in our mind and our subconscious thoughts, what we learned in our youth, and even in our adult life. Sometimes we pick up personality traits based off how much pain we've experienced. And so we need to learn how to release that, ask God to purge us of those things, so that we can have a life and have life more abundantly. And I wanted to make this message to men, because I don't think our men are encouraged enough. And this is going out to young men, and this is going out to adult men. I know it's hard. When I think about the plight of the black woman and how much especially a single mother has to go through, or even a mother in general, because she could have a husband, but if her husband's just going to work and she's going to work, but when she gets home, she's taking care of the kids and the paying the bills, and all the planning of the home. She does all that. She's exhausted. So I mean, I get the plight of the black woman, but I think about the black man. I think about the black man and I say, wow, man, this is hard for me. This is hard for the black woman. I can't even imagine how hard it is for black men to be expected to be the providers, the priests, the protectors of their home. And some of them can't even make a gainable wage, because a lot, the world will tell you, the American economy is robust. The American economy is not robust. It's most of the employment that's going on in the world is not gainful employment. And so we have men that are trying to figure this out, ladies, and we need to be more compassionate to their plight too, as well, that they're trying to take on the world's meaning of success, and it's just not fitting where they are in their lives, because many of them they don't have a silver spoon in their mouth. So they're trying to figure out, how am I going to provide for my wife and my children and my family and even themselves? A gainful, livable wage is so hard for the black man. And for anybody that say that's a lie, You need to really do the research. It's very hard. And when I think about it, I'll be like, wow, I know if this is hard for me being a woman, I know it's hard for the black man, especially the black man that is the head of his home. And he's trying to provide for his wife and his children. And he's thinking about all these different things that he needs to do. And then he loses his job. Or, you know, he's graduated from college and he's worked some jobs, but they're just not gainful employment. He still can't provide. So then the world is telling our men that they're useless unless they can provide. And that's a lie. And we really need to not be that way. We really, ladies, we really need to support our men better than what we're doing. And there's even some men that has rised above and they're well off and they don't even want marriage. They don't want marriage. Why? Because there's so much pressure in being a husband. There's so much pressure of providing for a whole family. And ladies, we're responsible for that. And that's something we got to change our mindsets too. When our men don't want to marry because they believe that it's never going to be good enough. They're always going to have to do this and this and this and this. And we need to be okay with where they are and support them in where they are. And we build up together versus us. And I'm going to tell you, this is one situation that I've noticed in my professional life, in my professional world. I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry. I hope this video didn't cut off. I want to finish this video because it's important. But I just want to tell you guys that I'm in front of my office and I really need to walk in. But I wanted to finish this video off. I just wanted to say that we need to support our men better so they won't feel so much. Okay, y'all, I'm sorry my phone cut off, but I want to finish this video because it's extremely important. But I was talking about the women, like the wives and the girlfriends. I ain't gonna even say girlfriends, but the wives. Why men don't want to be married nowadays, because we put so much pressure on our men, like it's never good enough. And me coming from the professional stance of what I see going on behind the scenes of, you know, I've sold homes that have been almost $1 million, $500,000, and I've seen these men, how hard they work and how much they pour into their families. They're great men. But I also see how the wives, it's always never good enough. They always want more. They always want more. They always want more. And that's why it's even in the Bible when Paul said it's best for a man not to be married, because once you're married, then you have to care about the cares of the world. And it makes it more difficult to serve God and to have a full life, because the man has to now think about what makes the wife happy or what she wants. And ladies, that's where we come into play. We come into play by not always wanting to have so much more, higher tier. When are we ever going to be satisfied so our men can breathe and actually enjoy some of the fruits of their labor, versus worrying about, okay, my wife friend, she just got a brand new Mercedes. I need to get my wife the top of the line Mercedes to make her happy so that she can look better than her friend. That's competition. That's not a healthy friendship anyway. So why would we then put pressure on our husbands to get us something better or equivalent when you still have a car that's probably paid for, that's nice, and it's a luxury vehicle? Why do you need a better one? And these are just examples of how much we can put pressure on our men by never being satisfied. So women, ladies, we have to get out of the world too. We're too much in the world worried about trying to keep up with the Joneses that we're pushing our men and our husbands away. And I got off the topic, but just think, if there's a young man living in that home, like a son living in that home, seeing how the mom is always never satisfied and how the dad has to keep working extra hours or do more work. Some of these men make 6 figures, but yet they have side jobs because their wives are gimme. This is never good enough. So I tied this into me encouraging young black men and men in general, because ladies, we have to be better women too. We have to realize where in our lives that we're poisonous too. We have to understand that if our men are providing, like some women are stay-at-home moms, then we need to be on some type of budget, or we need to be saving our men something, or we need to find ways to build investments for the extra money that we have in our savings account, so that we can help our men thrive and they can retire a little bit earlier than they have been. And we don't need our sons seeing women just do that, because if they grow up with that mindset, they'll be like, man, I'll never be good enough, or I'll never make enough money, or my wife or girlfriend, she'll never be satisfied. I don't even want it. So That's another thing. I said we have to hold ourselves culpable or accountable for how we are perpetuating a lie of the world, or that we need to have all these material things when there's something maybe intrinsically missing in our marriages or in our homes. And we don't want our girls to see that, because then they grow up and be that type of woman as well. And that's why we have that type of woman that's out there now. And so our men don't want to get married, and then the women are never satisfied. We got to get back to the basics, you guys. We have to start loving each other more intrinsically than what the other person can give us materialistically. And I think that's turning over into going back to our youth. Male is trying to figure out how he's going to be able to be looked upon as being a valuable piece of society if he cannot provide the bigger and the finer things of this life. And I'm here to tell you, young men, you can. You work on your intrinsic traits, connect to your maker, which is God. And if it's something that you really want, I believe God is going to give that to you. I believe that he'll bless that with you if you work really hard and you seek his face. I believe you can have anything you want to have. And I wanted to say that because there's no standard. You set your own standard. You set your own goals and aspirations. Don't worry about what the rest of the world is doing. If there's women out there, or young women with that type of mindset, you don't need to be dealing with those women. You need to deal with women that say, baby, I'm going to come into your life and help you build. We're going to build together. If you go out and make the money, I'm going to show you how to invest it. Or I'm going to help you invest it. If you bring this home, then I'm going to multiply it, baby. That's the type of women we need to get back to doing. Now, I know there's a lot of women still out there like that. But ladies, we're going over to the left, and our men need us at home to the right, so that we can support them and they won't have so much pressure. And I said all that to say, because I think sometimes we need to take a step out of the black woman's plight and try to put on the shoes of the black man, just for understanding, and understand that it's very difficult for our men to understand where they fit in this life if they don't make over 6 figures, or if they're not a part of the 1%ers, or they can't buy you that new Mercedes or that new that new BMW, or the 5,000 square feet home. You guys are just getting married, but you want a 5,000 square feet home. I mean, come on now. Let's come on back to reality. We need to live beneath our means, not above. So if your husband is making 100 grand or more, you don't need to be spending all that money. If he makes 100 grand, then you don't need to spend over maybe 40 or 60 maybe. I mean, in this economy, it may need to be a little bit above, but always live beneath your means. So you want to help save your husband or your man money, not spend it all. And that way our men won't experience so much pressure of trying to be what the world quote as successful, and they'll just be able to have a more full, abundant, happier life too, because this life just is not just about the woman. It's about our men too, making our men feel safe in a sense in their space, making them feel like they count and they matter and that they're valuable. And that begins with how we engage each other as woman and man, masculine and feminine energy, how we engage and encourage and uplift one another, because all of that trickles down to our children and how our men view themselves and how our young women view themselves. It's all coming together, and it's a disaster right now. I have to tell you some of the things that I see in this world, with the different hats that I have to put on and the different things that I work in, and I see how the women are treating the men and how the men are treating the women, and then it gets to where we feel like we don't need each other. We really do need each other. And that's why a lot of our peers are maybe succeeding a lot better, because they realize they need each other, and we need to realize we need each other too. But not only do we need each other, we need to love, respect, and honor each other, because without those things, it doesn't matter what kind of house you're playing, what kind of marriage you have. If you don't have love, respect, and honor, you have nothing. And trust. You have to have trust as well. You have nothing. It's all just, you can just throw it in the air and it can be over with within a matter of moments if you don't have those intrinsic values, intrinsic things that you have invested into your relationship or your marriage and your home, so that we can raise healthier and happier kids. I went over into a realm I really didn't, a space that I really didn't want to go into. This is really about our young men trying to figure out their lives, especially young men that don't have fathers. And I just wanted to take an opportunity to pour into that young man and say, you have to get out of what the world deem as successful, and you have to figure out what it is you want. Once you figure that out, make a plan. And how you're going to make that plan. See, young men and young women, if there's young women looking at this too, you have to start back reading. You have to start back studying. See, with the cell phones, with all the modern technology, you Google everything. You're not learning that way. You need to start back reading books. If you want to be a millionaire, go get you some books on how to become a millionaire. If you want to be an investor, go get you some books on how to invest. If you want to have better mental health, get you some books on how to become a healthier. Start reading more. Start putting that knowledge and that education inside of you, and nobody can take that from you. And then you actually use that in your everyday life. And that's what's going to catapult you forward and open doors that pretty much no man can close, because you're going to be connected to God. That's your source. You're going to be working on your mental health. You're going to be working on your mental, which is your emotional health. And then you're going to be working on how to have a more creative mind, because you're reading more. You're studying and you're putting all this positive energy into yourself versus listening to the music, which is so negative, being on social media, which is so negative. Put more positive things in your mind so that you can build the life that you want and that you desire and that you deserve. This message is going out to our young men that you are very valuable. You're more beautiful than you know, and you have to learn how to love yourself. And you dispel any myth that someone's trying to tell you you're invalidated simply because of where you come from, how much money you have, who your father was, who your mother was. You are beautiful and you are valuable based off the fact that you are a human being. It doesn't matter what color skin tone that you have. You are a beautiful human being, and I want you to love yourself. When you wake up in the morning, you need to say, man, I'm fine. You know, get that confidence back. Man, I look good. You know, when you're fixing your hair, your little mustache or whatever, your beard, get back into that. You got to know how valuable and how special and uniquely blessed that you are. God gave you some gifts that he didn't give to anybody. Start cultivating those gifts and those abilities so that you can make room in your life. That your gifts will make room for you. So go ahead and make sure you understand how special and beautiful you are. And take on the world just like God plans you to do. That you are, be a trailblazer. Don't be a follower, be a leader. And it's going to take, and I'm telling you now, it's going to take you putting that cell phone down. It's going to take you to start investing in your mind, in your spiritual growth, in your mind, in your psyche, more than being on that cell phone, because you're looking at a bunch of lies. I'm telling you now. You're looking at a bunch of lies. It's time to get to the truth. I'm done. I need to get in here and start my work. But I wanted to speak to our men and our young men this morning to let you know that you are valuable, you are worthy, you are special. Yes, you deserve to be catered to by anybody that wants your time and your attention. And we need you in your masculine energy. That's one thing I want to say to you. The rest of the lie and the propaganda that's going on is telling our black men that it's okay to be feminine. God made you a man for a reason, just like he made women a woman for a reason. If it wasn't so, he wouldn't have gave us the genitalia that he gave us so that we could procreate. So, and this is not me going against gays, lesbians, or what. I mean, do what you want to do. But there is a mass stream of propaganda going on, even by our own people, that's telling us homosexuality is more natural than heterosexuality, than being a heterosexual. And that's a lie from the devil. I am not casting no stones. I'm not, I can't throw any stones or anything like that. What I am saying, if you decide to be homosexual, gay, if you feel like you were born that way, that's on you. But I'm talking about for all the heterosexual people. Don't allow all this propaganda and this media to tell you that the black man is supposed to be bisexual or gay. They want you to stop procreating, and this is way back from the past. That's why I say you have to study and show yourselves approved. Yeah, they want the black man to stop procreating for a reason, because they know how powerful the black man can be if he's walking in his true masculine energy. He has to be masculine to cover his community. He has to be masculine to cover his home and his wife and his children. It's okay to be masculine. It's normal to be masculine. I'm not saying it's abnormal to be gay. I love all people. One of my best friends was lesbian. She's no longer here. I have no problem with gay people. What I'm saying is, it's a mass agenda going on, trying to pull our black men away from our homes even more than they've already been pulled away, due to mass incarceration and how the schools are the pipeline to prison. All of these things have been meant to destroy the young black man, to get them out of our homes. And because the world realizes, if women and if black men and black women really unite and raise our families like we're supposed to, we'll be a force to be reckoned with. They know that. And that's why there's a mass agenda to soften up the masculine male, to get them to be with other males so that we can stop procreating. And the same thing about women, to make the women hate the black man so badly that they go and they be with other women, so that we can, and so they want to nullify our race. I mean, you guys need to wake up. Everybody wasn't born gay. I'm sorry. Most of this stuff is cultural. And I wasn't even trying to get into this, but it's very important that we understand that it's something unnatural. And I'm not talking about the people, again, I keep going back to the people, because some people say they felt like they were born in the wrong bodies. Hey, that's between you and God. God knows how, your soul, your heart, or whatever. That's his judgment shall be upon you, not me. What I'm saying is, for all the heterosexual people that's being pushed and forced fed homosexuality, it's everywhere. I can't even watch a Tyler Perry movie anymore. I can't watch a Tyler Perry TV show anymore. And it's getting so disgusting to where they actually show the acts on TV. Like, this is a TV show. This ain't no R-rated movie, is it? I'm like, what? And I have to cut it off, because I have to remember it may be other people in the room. And I don't want to see that filth. But this is how broad it's becoming. And they're using our own people to perpetuate this propaganda, to weaken the black male. And you also have to be cautious about the foods that we eat, because all the hormones that they're putting in the food is affecting the man's testosterone levels. It's all proper. It's all planned. I'm like, we need to wake up. We got to eat better. We got to watch the food if it has hormones in it. Stop eating that stuff. Start eating more greens. Start eating healthier. Start exercising. Start reading. Start praying more. Start getting off into quiet spaces so God can speak to you. Because right now, we're entering into this dark realm, and we have to enter into the dark side. We don't want to do that. Sorry, my video cut off again, but I made it into the office, and I just want to tell you guys that I absolutely love you guys. I pour into you guys, not for any other reason other than to fulfill the purpose that God has put within me. So that's why I want to pour out through my life experiences and through like examples and circumstances that could possibly provoke some type of positive thought, which can change our lives. So that's why I do what I do. I don't do it for no other reason. And I want to leave you guys with this, is that I absolutely love you. I adore you. I know that more importantly, God loves you. Always remember to love God, love yourself, and love others. And if you're not going to love anybody, at least don't hurt them. Thank you so much. I love you guys for checking out my channel. If you haven't done so already, please click and subscribe. Share this video if you think it could help a young man or a black man in general. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.